Hello Flosstube, my name is Erica and I'm here to talk to you about my cross stitch, my embroidery, my first time sewing with Minky and my last time sewing with Minky, and our hiking trip this morning. So if you're new, welcome. I will chit chat for a few minutes in the beginning, but there'll be a timestamp below if you want to just fast forward straight to the stitching talk. For my returning subscribers, I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I am uploading later than usual because I'm shooting later than usual. I typically will do these videos first thing in the morning, like 6:30, 7 a.m. And then we'll go out and do something for the day as a family. Well, we kind of did things opposite today, and mostly because I overslept. So we went straight to Mueller State Park, which is about an hour west of us. 10,000 feet elevation. It was beautiful. It was not too cold. It was kind of perfect. I want to say it was probably 50 degrees up there. We hiked maybe 2 miles, which with a 4- and 2-year-old is about as much as we can do. My 4-year-old did 90% of it himself, but he didn't like to go uphill. I don't blame him. I didn't like to go uphill. There's like no oxygen up there, so I was panting, and then I was carrying 40 pounds on my back because I had to carry him. So I was like, at least I'm getting a good workout in. And he crawled in bed last night with me, and so I didn't get the best sleep from about 5 a.m. on. He kept putting his foot up my butt. I don't know how else to say it because I guess his feet were cold, and I was like, seriously, dude, stop. Like, I don't want your feet right there. And so then I had my alarm set to do the Flosstube early, but then I didn't want the alarm to go off and wake him up. So I was like, whatever, I'll just do it later. So here we are. The state park, it was cool. It wasn't maybe as pretty as I thought it was going to be. I thought that there were going to be some more fall colors already, but there wasn't a whole lot. I don't think we missed it. I just think it really hasn't maybe started yet. I mean, it started, but it's not at its peak, I should say. It was pretty cool. There was a lot of frozen ponds. Just the top layer was frozen, so we could get sticks and smash the ice on the top, and of course my 4-year-old thought that was the coolest thing ever. We got to see some bugs under the ice swimming around, so that was neat to talk about. So it's good. I mean, that was like the first time we've really kind of been outside of the Springs. We've been to Pueblo, which is about 45 minutes south, and then now here, but there's also so much to do like within the city limits, tons of hiking and Garden of the Gods and Red Rock Canyon that we just haven't ventured out too far. So we're supposed to go to Denver tomorrow, which is an 1.5-hour drive. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I really want to it'll be our first time going. My birthday's next week, so we're gonna go to my favorite restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants, do a little shopping. But I just don't know if I really want to do 3 hours in the car with the kids and my husband after 2.5 hours in the car today. It's just, my 2-year-old doesn't travel really well still. She's still rear facing, and so I think when she turns forward facing, which we'll do in a couple months, she will be happier. She can see more. There's just a lot of whining and crying and fighting with the two of them. He's touching me and she's laughing at me. Typical kid stuff. But I'm going to get right into it because I'm shooting over their nap break, and so I typically will work during their nap break, so I'm going to try to get this done and then maybe get some work done, probably just cross stitch. So the first thing I'll show you guys is actually my embroidery, so I'll go ahead and put the timestamp for now. I showed you guys the patterns last week. These are from the Aunt Martha. They're iron-on pattern packages that you get from like Michael's or Joann's for $2, and this is the first one that I've done in like a decade. It's a Christmas one. It says warm wishes. So I need to, gosh, that R right there, I'm gonna elongate that. The pattern I don't think called for it to be longer, but just looking at it like this, it needs to be longer. I need to finish some of the stars. That's just a thread. The smoke, which I'll probably do white, and part of the tree. I enjoy doing this because it's so much quicker than cross stitch. It took me maybe 3 hours to do all of this, but it's also hard because, you know, this, so you iron on this pattern and then you stitch over it, and you can still see the blue ink of the pattern underneath some of the stitches. So that's kind of making me go crazy. I stitched it all with 2 threads, except for the stars I had to do 4 because there was so much of the blue pattern showing through, and you can still see a lot of it. So I don't know. I'm not going to do a significant amount of it, I don't think, anytime soon, but it's fun to do something different, and it's so easy and quick. I'll probably turn this into a wall hanging. I'll do a couple more from that set that I got, maybe 4 more, and just do a big wall hanging with all 4 of them. Okay, so cross stitch whips, we have my Tiny Modernist medieval castle, and I'm going to be lazy and not show you guys the pattern because I don't feel like getting it out. I'm so tired. Oh my gosh. Like I also get really bad motion sickness, and so driving up and down the mountain today, and it was lots of curves, and I brought cross stitch to do, and of course, oh no, I think I might have left one of my whips downstairs. Actually, it might be right there. I might go grab it in just a second. I brought cross stitch to do, and I couldn't do any of it because I can't. I have to look forward. I can't look down, so I can't read. I can't really be on my phone too much. So this week I worked on the top part here a lot. I got this is the king sitting here, his sashing done. I finished this little turret. So that's it. I pretty much just did all these reds and oranges up here on the second level. This is a 28 count Bluebell Jobelin even weave that I hate because it's not squares, it's rectangles. I love the color. I think the color is beautiful and perfect for this castle. But I mean, it's easy enough to see and to stitch on. I just don't like the fact that it's rectangles. But there's my Tiny Modernist. The pattern's only available through Lakeside Needlecrafts. Let me go see if that whip is right there. I think it is. Okay, I was right. It's right here. So we'll just go ahead and do this one next. I knew I thought that I had brought it upstairs when I brought the kids up to put them down for, my son just has quiet time, but my daughter has nap time. Oh, and of course, I don't even know if I worked on this one at all this week. I brought it to do in the car, but I don't think. This is the Jack Frost Tree Farm by Little House Needleworks. I'm going to do all 6 on the one fabric. Yeah, I don't even think I worked on it since last week. Maybe the tiny trees down there and by the house and some of the snow. Doing this on 28 count coffee tea dyed Monaco, which I really, really, really like. And using all of the called for colors except for the white. I'm doing Blanc, yeah, I want to say Blanco, but it's not Spanish, it's French, Blanc. Ow, gosh, I just poked myself with a needle. Everything else I'm doing the called for classic color works. Like I said, I feel like I am just running on fumes. Like I just don't sleep really well when my son's in bed tossing and turning, and then I stayed up. Oh my gosh, I didn't even cross stitch. Oh my god. I didn't even cross stitch last night. So I took last night off from working, and I keep rocking in my chair. I need to stop this. I took last night off, and typically when I take a night off, I take like maybe 2 nights off a week from working on project bags. Oh man, and I gotta show you all the new ones too. I have 5 new bags this week. It's insane. Okay, I'll show them at the end. So I take 2 nights off a week, and I'll typically cross stitch all night. From like, I get my son down at like 8:30. My daughter goes down around 8, so I do her at 8, him at 8:30, and then I'll just cross stitch until I usually fall asleep between 11 and 12. Last night, I just drank too much wine, which also might be why I'm so tired. I had like 2 glasses, and watched clips from The Voice and America's Got Talent on YouTube. Like, this is like the 3rd time I've done this in the last month. Like, this is my way of relaxing, is watching America's Got Talent highlights and Golden Buzzer clips and just bawling my eyes out. I don't know why that's relaxing to me, but it's what I did. And then I ended up watching Lizzo music videos for like 30 minutes. But I didn't cross stitch at all, which I kind of regret. I wish I would have, but I just got sucked into it. And every once in a while, I just need to like veg out and not think about anything, even cross stitch, like literally not think. Turn my brain off, watch YouTube clips, and drink wine in bed. So that's what I did, and it was pretty fantastic. Oh gosh, this is the charity pattern I'm working on. I'll show you guys what I have so far, because it's not going to give anything away at all. There's no, oh my gosh, there's no needle on it. Oh, that's concerning. So that's what I have so far. I've shown you the color palette before. It's very beautiful fall colors, but it's a lot of jumping around, and I'm doing it on 14 count vintage country mocha, because I can't jump around that much on 28 count. I would mess up the counting 100%. I would mess it up. I know it. So I'm just doing this on 14 count. It's taken me a while. My goal is to have it done by November 1st now. And then I'll leave the pattern up through all of November and try to get a Christmas something or a winter one maybe for December 1st. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna stack up all my looks right there. So that is, oh, that's my Tiny Modernist bag. This bag's in the shop too. My shop link is below. I sell project bags and cross stitch patterns. So this is the Prairie Schooler Christmas Tree Farm on 14 count opalescent Aida that I love with a passion. I think I got a decent amount done on this. I worked on the border a lot. Maybe not. Oh, I finished the house. I don't think the house was finished last time, so I'm done with all the houses. I picked up some more red because I got to do a truck and a fox, and I was completely out after that house. So I worked on the border some. I worked on this little thing. So I just got some trees. I think a bunny goes here, a fox, and a red truck. Maybe a couple trees right here. Ooh, you can see it shimmery, I think. I can see it. And I have a little bit like fencing and some back stitching to do up here. But I'm getting close to a finish on this one, so I've been really motivated. Oh, it's so pretty. I think I'm just gonna put it in a frame. I thought about doing it maybe as like a pillow, but I can't. With a 4 and 2 year old, like, no, I can't. So I can't. I do want to start working on the Farmhouse Christmas series by, it's either Little House or Country Cottage. They're like pretty much the same thing. It's a mother-daughter duo. And a viewer so generously sent me her pattern series. I had bought the first one, and then she sent me the series, and I think I gave my one away because I really want, I'm looking at there's a corner of my, oh no, my sewing desk goes there. Well, I could just put it somewhere. Oh, I could put it right here, like what that chair is. How cute, and you guys could see it during my videos. I want a Christmas tree in my room. I had one last year. It was, I think I just had like a paper chain on it and lights and maybe a couple of handmade ornaments from the kids. But this year I want to do it all like farm related, not farmhouse style, but like actual maybe farming, because I'm like obsessed with gardening right now. And I thought it would be cute to do all of the ornaments. I think there's 9 total. Yeah, there's 9 as little pillow ornaments. If that makes sense. Is that what they're called? Like little stuffed pillow things. One, because I hate framing and lacing and all that stuff. Not that I've ever done it, but like once. And I think it would be easier for me as a sewer. I shouldn't use air quotes. I'm a sewer. I sew like 20 to 30 hours a week at this point, and I have for a month. So I've logged a lot of sewing hours. And then I was a quilter briefly before that for like 3 months. I was obsessed. I made like 10 quilt tops and did binding and quilting on like 2 of them, and then the rest of them were sitting in my closet still. But I think sewing ornaments would be easier for me. So I'd like to get all those. I need to start working on those. So when this Prairie Schooler Christmas Tree Farm is done, this is my downstairs project. Ooh. I like to have something downstairs that's simple. This only has a couple colors. It's really easy. I can stitch in hand, that I can do when my kids are watching cartoons or if they're playing nicely. And I mean, I don't think I've touched this thing downstairs in a week, so I don't get to do that very often. I used to stitch a lot more. And then when my Etsy shop opened, that's kind of taken over my life, which I love and I'm so grateful for. But when that's done, I'm gonna bring the ornaments downstairs, and those will be my downstairs projects to work on. And I think I could get them done in time. I will say my dad's fishing pattern, I think I have officially let that go for completing it for, definitely it's not gonna be done by his birthday. It's in a month. No, gosh, like 3 weeks. Definitely not gonna be done then. And I don't even think it'll be done by Christmas. I mean, that's 10 weeks away maybe. So I could do it. I haven't worked on it in like 6 weeks, and it's the Cooler Design Studios Fishing Nostalgia one. It's an amazing pattern. The 8 is really stiff. It was like 10 years old that I had in my closet. There's a lot of like half stitches that you have to do, or quarter stitches, and that's really hard for me to do on very stiff 14 count Aida. So I don't know. I'm kind of looking around for smaller patterns that I might be able to do for him for his birthday or for Christmas. Okay, so last whip, well, I have one more after that, but it's a new start. Ooh, I'm so excited about it. Okay, so this is my Little House Needleworks Hometown Holiday Series. And I have officially started every single building I'm doing. And I've been working, ooh, I got lots of good progress done on the floors this week. So I've been really motivated. This is, I don't want to say it's close to a finish because, oh my, I mean, I just have so many like snow and trees. And then this church, you can't even see it, but I have stitched the called for DMC on this side. And you can't see it at all. I'm going to rip it out and either do it, I think it's a darker gray, like the color of the steps, I think is what I'm going to do. So it'll tie it all together. But it's close-ish to a finish, and so I'm really motivated to get this done soon. So there's the florist. I need to finish a tree here and a tree there, the roof obviously, and then some snow. And then there's I think this is a wreath in here, and some like potted plants. The tree farm up here is pretty much done. Grandma's house, I just need to add grandpa and some snow. The candy shop, I don't know what I need to add there. Might just be snow on the bottom. The schoolyard, I'm missing some kids right here. Firehouse is completely done. And the pet shop I need to finish up. And then I'm gonna add there's like snowflakes everywhere. They're supposed to look like that. But I'm going to do either all of them or just the majority of them in white beads. And then I'm going to like rip out, there's red French knots right here. I'm gonna rip those out and add red beads instead. And I might rip these red stitches out and do red beading on this garland and just kind of go in and add beaded accents all throughout. Yay. It's so cute, I love it so much. Okay. And it reminds me, I was trying to do the Halloween Village with the Mill Hill Halloween beaded kits, and I haven't touched that in a while either, which is crazy because I'm so obsessed with Halloween and I love all the kits. It's just I got to the beading and it started to get really slow and tedious, and I was like, I'm done. Okay, so my new start. Finally started my Egyptian chatelaine. I'm gonna try to okay, I can't get this out. So that's what it looks like. You guys can see like nothing in there. The detail is just unbelievable on this thing. I'm very slowly, like this little tiny square in the center has 4 fish around it. So I think I started right outside that square because most of that inner square is actually beads that I still need to order. They're called Delica beads. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. But they didn't carry them on 1, 2, 3 stitch. And so I'm trying to find where I can get those. I believe you can substitute with Mill Hill, but I'm gonna try to order the called for beads. Oh, and I got some of my silks. Oh gosh, they're so pretty. Just look at that silk. Oh, and it's so soft. Oh, it's so soft. It's so soft. Okay. And when I get a needle sticking out, I'm gonna set that aside so I don't poke myself again. And this is a big piece of fabric. So I'm gonna try to kind of fold it in so I can hold it up better for you guys. This is 28 count. Oh gosh. Mushroom Lugana, I think. It's the same thing I'm doing my, not chatelaine, my Cathedral Woods Goddess Mirabilia on. So this is my start. I actually put a stitch right in the dead center of, not the fabric because the fabric's not square, but of the pattern. So that needs to actually come out. But like I said, this inside is almost all beaded with the fish. And then this is, I'm starting to work up here. These are flowers, or the stems of the flowers right here. So I think I put in maybe about 300 stitches. I love this fabric. It is so easy to stitch on for 28 count. Because for those of you who haven't watched all my videos, like I was an Aida stitcher for 10 plus years. I just started working on 28 count maybe 3 months ago. So it's still pretty new to me. I like it, but I'll never forget, I had a couple people comment on like my Hometown Holidays Christmas series, like, oh, you should really try 28 count before you do such a big project on 14 count, and then you're gonna end up regretting doing it on 14 count. Absolutely not. I think it looks beautiful. It does not make a difference to me. My prairie tree or my Christmas tree farm is on 14 count. It looks fine still. I mean, honestly, I could have done this on 14 count too because it's almost full coverage. So what does it matter? It looks fine to me. But this I know is going to take a very long time. So my goal is to just chip away at it a little bit at a time. I really, really, really like working on it. So I'm kind of surprised that I haven't done more, but like I said, I'm pretty motivated on getting those other two patterns finished, the Tree Farm and the Christmas Village, because it's just, they're so close. Gosh, this is gonna be a short video. So those are all my whips and my new start. And I have a sewing related item to show you. I'm trying to wrap that all up nicely. I need to get a project bag for it. Oh, and then I've got all the project bags to show you too. I completely forget about that. Oh, sorry, I know it's horrible crinkly noises. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the sewing project first. Okay, so for the longest time, I wondered when my kids were going to get into something and become like completely obsessed with it. Like you always hear about kids who like watch the same movie 100 times in a row, or become obsessed with the color yellow, and like every single thing that they own in their room and their clothes has to be yellow. Like my kids have never gotten into that. They're young still, 4 and 2. But up until this, gosh, maybe the last 6 months, my son had only ever sat through one movie, and it was Land Before Time, when my husband was deployed, and he must have been like 18 months old, and it was only a 56-minute movie. Since then, my husband's taken him to the movie theater a couple of times to try to watch movies. He usually makes it halfway through and then wants to go home. He just goes for the candy pretty much, which I don't blame him. But he has sat through a Spider-Man movie or two, and maybe a month or 6 weeks ago, like now that this Disney trip is on the horizon for us, I'm trying to get them exposed to more Disney movies and princesses and things that they might see in the parks. So I tried to watch Frozen and Tangled. Tangled is one of my favorite movies. They did not like that at all. Frozen, we watched the first 15 or 20 minutes a handful of times before one day I just went ahead, instead of starting from the beginning, I started it off where we'd left it off at like 20, 25 minutes, and they sat through the rest of it and were obsessed from that point on. So we have probably watched it 12 times now in the last month. And so when we were at Joann's this week, I needed fabric for some of my bags and stuff like that. They had gotten in this new Frozen fabric, and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I have to get this. So this is a panel. Oh, of course it's upside down. It's just a 1 yard panel. The artwork is beautiful, and so Frozen 1, the color scheme and all the marketing and fabric and whatnot, it was very blue, which is like the color of the movie. This time around, the fabric is very purple, lots of purple undertones, and so I just thought it was really pretty. And the back of it, I sewed it the minky fabric. Oh, there's my hair on it, which I will never, ever, ever, ever sew with again. It was awful. And it's funny because my friend Christine sews with it all the time, and she's like, oh yeah, just use your walking foot and go slow and you'll be fine. No, that was a lie, Christine. I don't know if you watch these anymore, but if you're watching it, you are a liar, and I don't appreciate it. I went slow. Okay, so I made a couple mistakes. So all I did was sew it right sides together, turned it out, and then top stitched it. Well, the first time I tried to do that, I had just used Wonder Clips, and those were not holding enough. I keep looking here. I need to look there. I'm sorry. I'm looking at you guys. We're having a conversation. I apologize. The Wonder Clips did not hold it securely enough, and so the minky moved, and I didn't notice it until after I had almost finished sewing up the second of 4 sides, and it was all bunched up, and so then the other side was short by like that much. So I had to rip out all of it with my seam ripper. And oh, also, totally random, do you guys know what frog stands for? I do. I'm just wondering, like I'm prepping you for the answer. I had heard that term all the time, like all these acronyms that people use on Flosstube. And frog, I thought, stood for a curse word that starts with F, something, rip out, something, I don't know. No, it's just a word when you frog, like it's not an acronym. It's like when you rip it and you rip it, and you sound like a frog. Most of you probably knew that, but I didn't, and I was like, that was amazing. So anyways, I had to rip it all out, and then I put them together again, right sides together. I used my quilting safety pins that when I bind everything or make the quilt sandwich, I pinned like 20 pins in this thing and did the wonder clips, and it's still, I mean, it's not perfect, but she's 2, you know, she's not going to care. It's good enough. It's structurally sound, and it will withstand her cuddling with it and playing with it. And oh, it is so soft. So I can't wait. She's taking her nap now, but when she wakes up, I'm going to give this to her. And then my son's probably going to be like, I want one. So I need to make him one too. I mean, she's teeny tiny. Like I said, she just turned 2, and she's like 3rd percentile for weight and 30th for height. So she's a tiny little person. If I was making this, you know, for an older, like my son, obviously I wouldn't do just the yard. I would probably get some more of the frozen fabric and put a big border around it. Okay, I don't need to fold this for you guys. Okay, it's done. So next to last thing is I want to show you guys some new project bags that I had made. I have just been very busy with the shop this week, which, like I said, I am you guys just got a peek of something. So grateful for. I will admit, when I first started this Etsy shop, I think it was May, because my husband was out of town for his grandpa's funeral. I was completely unprepared for how many sales I would get. Completely. My goal was 5 bags a week. And I was like, if I sold 5 bags a week, I could make my car payment, and that would help out with our finances significantly. I sell more than 5 bags a week usually. And it was pretty hard for me the first, I mean, what has it been? May, June, July, August, September, October. So we're going into 5 months. I would say the first 3 months was really hard for me to find a balance, because I went from having all of my nights completely free. After I get the kids down, I would have 3 hours a night to cross stitch or lesson plan for our homeschool or clean, do whatever I wanted. And then all of a sudden, every single night I'm working. And it was very difficult. Like, I felt like I was constantly kind of stressed and frazzled, and it's hard for me to relax when I have outstanding orders, because I'm like, I don't need to relax. There's people waiting on bags. Like, that's not right. But I have to. And so when I started implementing I usually don't take 2 full days off. Like, I'll still work through nap time, but just take a night off. 2 nights off a week. And just understanding that there are going to be open orders, and that's okay. And I'm never going to well, I might, but it's going to be very rare that I have 0 outstanding orders to work on. So things are much better now. I feel much more relaxed. I feel like there's much more balance in my life. I can still do some lesson planning at night. I can, like, I pull activities for the week, or, you know, make my son, he's starting a chore chart. Like, I have time to do those things. And for the first couple months, like, every spare minute I had was devoted to sewing and project bags. And I can't maintain that. Like, it's unrealistic. So I have balance, and like, the shop's been really busy this week, but I still had time to make 5 new bags. So I'm very excited. Okay, so the first one is, I used this witch fabric before. It is so cute. This little primitive witch and her little cat. I just love, the artwork is stunning to me. But I had different interior fabric that it was sold out, and so this is a new fabric that I'm using, and this is very limited in stock. I only have 4, so when that's gone, it's gone forever. Halloween's almost over, so I don't think it's gonna be too popular after that. Now this one, I mentioned last week how I was really into Alexander Henry. I have been for months, but I just could not find a fabric of his that I thought would make a good project bag. Like, the stuff was beautiful, but is it gonna look good on a project bag? Like, or are people gonna like it? I don't know. But this one I had to get it. My friend Christine kind of like made me, when I showed it to her, she was like, you need to get that. So I did. It's skeleton mermaids, but wait, my favorite part is actually the interior fabric. It is a batik, and you're not gonna be able to see it at all, so I'm not even gonna try. But it looks like the ocean to me, which I thought was so perfect, and it's got sparkles in it. Not the kind of sparkles that are gonna get on your cross-stitch projects at all, but it's very, very faint. It is beautiful. Oh my God, it reminds me so much of the ocean. So there's skeleton mermaids. This one, I've also been, so I get a lot of requests for Alice in Wonderland, Disney in general, and it's hard to find fabric that's not too childish. So this is an Alice in Wonderland bag that has really nice gold, look at that gold metallic on it. It's beautiful. And then the interior fabric is just black, or cream and black. from Alice. Then this one I totally got. These next two are both Disney. I'm just Disney obsessed, but I really like this. It says Christmas, here we come, and it's Mickey and the Fab Four, Mickey, Minnie, Pluto. Actually, no, the Fab Four I think is Mickey, Donald. Oh, there's 5 of them: Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto, and Minnie's there. And so this fabric is Mickey and Minnie. Look how cute for Christmas. And then the last one is. And again, this is one of those bags where it's like, I don't know how it's really going to sell because, you know, grown adults don't typically like this as much as maybe I do or children do, but the fabric was so beautiful I had to. It's a Frozen bag. I told you guys I'm Frozen obsessed right now. So there's the purple Elsa and Anna, sorry, the glare. And then even just this black fabric is so beautiful. The artwork is gorgeous. I like it much more than I did the first iteration of fabric from Frozen 1. So that's it. Those are my 5 new bags. The current turnaround time is, you know, it's always been 3 to 5 days. It's definitely the 5-day mark. I'm trying to catch up, but it's been difficult, and it's been a busy weekend. My husband had a 4-day weekend, so we've been out doing a lot of things, but I'm getting there. I try to make 7 or 8 a day on the days that I work, if that's how many orders that I have out. So I could theoretically catch up in a couple of days. Okay, so last one. Oh, and I just realized I don't know where but I know who won. So the giveaway for last week. Also, I have the last 2 videos prior to this one, the giveaway winners, I have their information. I think one of you emailed me again to make sure I got it. I'm so sorry. I did get it. Like I said, I haven't even responded to comments lately. It's been nonstop project bags and then a little bit of me trying to actually balance and do stuff that I need to do around the house and for myself and for my kids. Your giveaways are going out this week as well. So all the giveaway winners are going out this week. And I do not have a giveaway for this week because I'm going to try to catch up and get all the giveaways gone out of the house to the people that won them. So last week, this was my 4,000 subscriber giveaway. This is one of the only time I'm going to make this again is for the next charity that I work with. That, like I said, hopefully November 1st, that pattern will be up. And I'm going to make a bag like this and do it auction style a la Michelle Bendy. And all the proceeds will go to the local charity that I've chosen. So the winner for this was Patricia Clark. So Patricia, if you could email, that was an awkward smile. If you could email me your address, my email is below. I will get this out, like I said, this week, and it's going to have these 2 little mini cross-stitch kits in there as well, and it's little crafty cats. It's so cute. Okay, so that's it. I am so tired. I feel like I'm going to use my daughter's blanket and just go to sleep. And it's been kind of cold here. Like, it snowed a couple days ago, and I slipped and fell on the ice when we first moved here, and I have such a phobia of ice now. Like, I can't. My daughter slipped in the backyard on our patio, and I almost had a heart attack. Like, I can't walk on ice. Like, I need to get something for my shoes. It gives me severe anxiety at this point, because that was the most pain I have ever been in outside of childbirth, I think. And I'm trying to remember, because I got into a bike accident that knocked a bunch of my teeth out. Well, like 1 and a half, and then chipped some other ones and ripped part of my lip off. And I think the falling on the ice, I know falling on the ice was worse. That's how bad, it was bad. I was holding my daughter and I landed on my elbow and my shoulder. Oh my God, it was so bad. So anyways, it's been cold here. That's where I was going with that. And one morning my husband woke up and he's like, God, Erica, why don't you have the heat on? I was like, I do have the heat on. He's like, no, you don't. And he looked at the thermostat. He's like, 66? Who puts the heat on 66? And I was like, it's fine. It's not even that cold. He's like, you're wearing a sweater. Of course you're not cold. I was like, well, put a sweater on. Like, we don't need to heat up our giant house just because you're cold. Like, put a sweater on. Well, now I'm freezing and I can't turn the thermostat up because we argued about it. So I'm like constantly wearing 3 or 4 layers so that I can win the argument with my husband and not have to turn the heat up past 66, even though it's pretty cold. I might go we have a space heater out in the garage. I might go bring that upstairs sometime. But I was just thinking of cuddling up and being all warm. I sleep with a heating pad too. I will do whatever it takes to win an argument. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. If you have a long weekend, I think it's Columbus Day tomorrow. I should know that. I do know that because of the meme that was going around, like, I think it says something, if you're having a Columbus Day sale, does that mean I can just go in and take whatever I want? Burn. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me. I've got pictures of our hike on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, it's Erica D House. The link to that is below as well. I post on there every single day, not so much photos, but in my stories all day I upload pictures and videos of just what the kids and I are doing. And it used to be a lot of gardening stuff, but now my garden's completely gone because everything froze and died. But I'd love to follow you guys and connect with you over there if you're on Instagram, and if not, we can just hang out here and chat. And I promise I'm going to be better about comments. If you guys ask me a question in the comments, I do try to answer those right away, but all the other comments I need to catch up on as well. So I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you next weekend.